Can we speak to the myth that reading is natural? We are born to read, just like we
Right.
acquire language.
Right. Well, language is instinctive and it's natural, but reading is actually a very complex skill. There's nothing in our brain that we were born with to help us read. And, different writing systems, different types of reading would require different kinds of brain activity. In English, uh, reading is quite difficult, and we activate the reading sound, the reading through sound. So we have equated our language with sound that should correlate with text, and it doesn't always happen really neatly. Like our language doesn't line up with text. If we look at the phoneme, which is the smallest part of speech, it's really tricky, especially in English. We not only cannot agree on how many phonemes there are, some people say 44, some say 47, but we can't even agree on what those phonemes actually sound like all the time. Like you can go to an IPA chart and you can hear these really weird little sounds, but sometimes you'll go to IPA charts and there'll be like four recordings of that same sound done by different speakers, so you can hear little differences. The phoneme also will flex based on what sound comes before and what comes after it. So speech itself is not very neat. And we try to correlate that neatly with text, but that's really difficult. First of all, we have a lot of phonemes. Secondly, we only have 26 letters in the alphabet. And thirdly, English is influenced by all sorts of other languages. It's influenced by time. It's influenced by region. It's influenced by the context of the word, like present or present. And it's also influenced by the speaker. So English is hugely complex, but we treat it like it should be simple, like there are rules that can be followed. And that's actually not true. And that's detrimental to smart young learners who are told it's easy, you can get it if you just focus. I know you can do it, just follow the rules. And reading does not work like that. And so then they think, well, it isn't easy. So either I'm dumb or they're lying. A lot of parents start to lose integrity when they tell their kids they're smart, when their kid says, well, you don't know how hard I have to work to get this. So I think recognizing how complex English is really important. Um, but then the 26 letters have to translate into symbols that we can correlate with these sounds. And it'd be nice if we only had 44, 47 letter combinations, but we actually have well over 1,000. And we need about 400 to 500 of them for some of the most common reading and writing. And in schools, we only teach about 60 phonic patterns. And we're not always sure that those kids actually know the sound part of the phonics part. So it becomes problematic. So, you know, there's this devastating effect where we treat English like it should be easy, but reading English is cognitively incredibly difficult. And we do it through encoding and decoding. And we need to learn we need to be able to recognize that encoding and decoding accurately. But visual reading, when you take a little picture of everything, it's easier at first.
Mhm.
It really is easier at first than learning how to encode and decode properly. And you can read using it. Most people with dyslexia do read, but over time you tend to hit a wall. Some people it's early. Some kids we see right away. We know right away that they're in trouble. Some kids, the hiccups start to be noticed in fourth grade. Some kids not till sixth grade, but we have also worked with college students and graduate students and adults.